What I like is talking truth to power.
Hello, good morning, everyone. My name is Muniru Alioune Kane. I'm from Senegal. I'm program coordinator at ENDA-CACID. ENDA-CACID is African Center for Trade, Integration in Development. And I'm happy to be here, to be with CITNI, TWN, and our big colleague, Tete Sylvester, Herbert, and Jan. And I think we will have a great meeting. Donc, Sylvester, merci. Je pense que tu vas me noter mon anglais. Je pense que je me débrouille bien. C'est un plaisir d'être ici. Merci.
Merci beaucoup, monsieur le modérateur, de m'avoir donné la parole. Je m'appelle Falumba Oufal. Je suis chargé de suivre en tout cas toutes les questions relatives à l'OMC. Je suis également en tant que représentant du Sénégal au niveau du groupe africain à Genève. On assure en tout cas je suis le point focal sur les questions de développement qu'on traite au niveau de l'Organisation mondiale du commerce. Donc voilà ce double cassette-là. En tant que premier conseiller en charge des questions liées au commerce, mais aussi en tant que point focal du groupe africain sur les questions relatives au développement. Merci beaucoup, Monsieur le Président.
Thank you.
Good morning. Habari, bonjour. My name is Africa Chiza, not Africa Trade Network. No, Africa, and sorry, Africa Chiza. I am with Christian Aid. I still have, I think part of my ghost is still in the Africa Trade Network, CITNI and the TWNA. I am a Pan-Africa advocacy and the policy lead. I like music, not the normal one, but traditional souk and some bit of reggae. Thank you.
My name is Tete Homeku. I'm head of programs at Third World Network Africa, and I'm happy to be here. I don't like anything better than a good shot of Ugandan Waranji to go with some matoke. Yeah, thank you very much.
Waranji, after Waranji, let's go to the next person.
Well, you'll get the shot. Do you want it right now? No, okay, perfect. My name is Ismail Ladu. I am a media practitioner. I like many things, including trade and investment issues. Thank you very much.
Good morning. I'm Ezekiel Kereri. I work with Tanzania Trade and Investment Coalition from Tanzania. What I love I would like is African development. Thank you very much.
Is it on? Good morning. My name is Nelson Dirango from Kenya. I've been in the trade field for quite some time, as you can see on the face, and I survive by doing trade. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Nebat Rugadia. I am a journalist. Well, I like my job. That is listening to various voices and coming up with one story. Yeah.
Good morning. My name is Regina Kabasomi, and I'll be your rapporteur during these 3 days. I think, like Africa, I love music. Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
C'est Juto Towardswto. Ok. Moi, c'est Juto Towardswto. Je suis ministre conseiller, représentant permanent adjoint du Cameroun à Genève. Je suis content d'être parmi vous. Et j'aime quoi? J'aime les hommes. C'est ce que je pourrais dire. Les êtres humains. C'est ce que j'aime.
Is the translation okay? Are you hearing me? The interpretation, are you hearing?
No, I didn't have the interpretation, so I don't have my headset on. But I think everybody understood what I said.
Okay.
I love human beings.
Okay, yes.
My name's Rob Davies. Like Jane, I'm also retired. Retired from, among other things, attending every ministerial of the WTO from Seattle to Buenos Aires. But now I'm an honorary professor at the University of the University of Cape Town, the Nelson Mandela School of Public Governance, and a member of the Advisory Council on the African Continental Free Trade Area. What do I like? I like, among other things, unpacking what Mark Carney called the pleasant fiction that we used to have a rules-based trading system, and also looking at the implications for African development of what he also called the rupture in that system. So I'm looking forward to our discussion. Thanks.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Hi, good morning, everybody. I'm Vahini Naidu. I'm from South Africa, but I'm also here representing the South Center. So I'm going to be part of the program today and tomorrow. What do I like? So many things. But since I'm here in my official capacity, I think what I'm really liking is to see a strong civil society participation. And we're hoping that through this meeting and future meetings, we could brainstorm and to learn more about how you can help, in particular, the Africa group in Geneva and in the WTO. Thanks.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. My name is Edgar Odari. I work with Econis Africa based out of Nairobi, and I like rumba music very much. Yeah.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Herbert Kafero. I work with Siatini, and I like music, I like writing. Thank you.
Okay. I'm going to speak in English. I'm trying. I am Suleiman Barrow from Senegal. We are the winner of African Cup football. Since yesterday, nobody congratulated me. Okay, I work in Endakasit. Endakasit is an organization which in Senegal, and I am the director. Thank you.
Thank you, winners of the cup. So Jane, you didn't introduce yourself?
Okay. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, comrades, friends. I'm so happy to see you here. I'm Jane Narunga. I'm the executive director of Siatini. What I love doing aerobics.
So thank you so much for the introductions. Now we know who is in the room. At this moment, I want to invite the three organizers of this meeting, Siatini, Uganda, our host, Endakasit, and Third World Network Africa to give their opening remarks. I will first of all invite Tete to come. After that, Jane will follow, and Endakasit will follow. So Tete, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning. I should actually have added when I was introducing myself that I am one of the grandees who refused to retire. I mean, it's Jane has retired. Professor Kesley has retired. Professor Dr. Rob Davis has retired. I should also be retiring with them because we're all in Seattle all the way to here. But every time I try to retire, it's impossible to retire. So I'm stuck here with you. And it's my great pleasure to welcome all of you. I think there are some colleagues online and some here to these conversations and consultation in preparation for the WTO Ministerial Conference that is taking place in Cameroon. In the 28 years of the existence of the Africa Trade Network that we've done these kind of consultations, this particular consultation is taking place in the most exceptional, in fact, even bizarre of circumstances, right? We're in a situation where we are getting to a WTO Ministerial, and it seems to me that the very character and purpose of the WTO is under attack. It's up to question in a way that seriously poses a question about what African countries are going to do, and more difficultly for us, what civil society organizations will be doing and should be doing. As I say, in the 28 years that we have been doing these things, the African countries have had quite a straightforward job. They have been opposed to the imbalances of the WTO that was created in 1995. And every ministerial, they have raised their voice against the imbalances to try and repair those imbalances. But at the same time, has also been keen to ensure that the WTO remedy does not expand and worsen the situations on the behalf of the developed countries. So basically, it's a question of resisting more neoliberal-based expansion of the WTO remit and also try to repair the imbalances. And as civil society organizations, we have been quite keen to mobilize broadly around that and support our governments. And that has continued fairly well up to now with different changes here and there. But as we all know, particularly over the past 6 months or more, what we have had happening now is very serious questioning or the very fundamental assumptions of the WTO, whether or not it exists with its premises. And we know where much of that is coming from. I mean, the most brazen part of it is from the US and President Trump. But we also notice that that is, even though the other players like European Union and co are not as brazen as Donald Trump, what we would have expected them to do is also now not so much defending the same things that they told us was good for us, but actually also kind of balancing to see how they can respond to their interests. So that in a certain sense, African countries who, if in spite of resisting the imbalances, have been also invested in upholding certain rules, now find themselves in a situation where they have to ask themselves, given where the big powers are doing with the WTO, where are they? I mean, if we take the Prime Minister Makani's word, we're in a situation of, as Minister Davis says, in a rupture. And we are rebalancing more or less what the system is. Everybody is trying to grab a piece for themselves. Where African countries, what piece are we going to grab for ourselves? How does that grabbing of pieces inform the kinds of principles that we will uphold and things like that? So it seems to me that this ministerial is sending us back almost a formative years, not simply on the Uruguay round, but even more back to GATT, when people are now trying to divide territory, position themselves, and on the basis of that, announce and negotiate principles. Now, we have to ask, because fortunately we have got a number of government officials here and delegates here, we have to ask them to lead us to think about this situation and tell us what is happening in Geneva when we are taking to Cameroon. For us in civil society, it poses a much more fundamental question again of rediscovering the spirit that led to the formation of the ATN in 1998 and all the battles that we waged towards then. The question then is, how are we approaching this thing, both towards Cameroon and after Cameroon? Professor Kesley and Bahini, all those people who have been the core face of the struggles, can help us navigate the options that we have, the scenarios that we have. For civil society, I suspect that we have to take into consideration the fact that hopefully Cameroon will still leave us a space to continue a much more fundamental struggle to reposition ourselves. And finally, for Africans, we also have, in the light of all these developments, ask ourselves, where are our pet and favorite projects like the ACFTA and co, where are they going to lead us, and how do we rethink them? So this is a very big menu for us, but I hope we can rise up to the occasion. And I invite all of us to be able to spend the next 3 days in the corridors, in the meeting rooms, to try and converse deeply for this thing. And thank you very much.
Good morning, comrades. Once again, I'm Jane Narunga, the Executive Director of Siatini. Just to add on to what Tete has said, is to welcome you to this very, very important meeting. The 3 organizations organizing this event, Siatini, TWN, that's Third World Network, and ENDACASID, are part of the Africa Trade Network. The Africa Trade Network brings together African civil society organizations working on trade issues. And today, as Tete has pointed out, these 2.5 days is for us to be able to understand, to appreciate what's going on, to appreciate the shifts, those global shifts. We need to understand them, and also be able to see how we position ourselves as Africa, to position our CFTA, to position our regional development strategies. But in order to do that, we need to appreciate those shifts and the way they are linked to our struggles in Africa. I would like to thank our experts who are here. And for me, I'm really, really, really happy that when you look at the brains here, the experts here, I think you can't find them at any one time in one place. So we are really grateful to all of you who have come here to share your expertise. Also grateful for all the participants we have invited. The journeys, I think, have been long, Jane, all over from the other side of the world, but you have been here. So we are really, really grateful. I know some comrades from Cameroon and Nigeria had a very difficult time with the visas. some were sorted out. And maybe this also shows us as Africa that maybe we need to do better as Africans. Somebody traveling from Cameroon to Uganda, from Nigeria to Uganda, and you need to put in your papers for a whole mass. Then we are talking about intra-Africa trade, the CFTA. How do we do that? You know, so maybe we need also to look at as Africa, how do we do better? You know, the world is changing out there. How can we also look inwards and be able to strengthen ourselves, strengthen our trade? So with those few words, I want to welcome you to this very important meeting, and once again to thank you for honoring our invitation. Thank you so much.
Ah oui. Bonjour à tous. Comme je disais, je reprends mon français parce qu'avec l'anglais, je ne me ferai pas très bien comprendre. Nous remercions Siatini, remercions également TWN d'avoir associé Endakassid à cette rencontre. Comme je le dis souvent, le commerce est aujourd'hui un enjeu de pouvoir. Le commerce est devenu aujourd'hui un instrument de politique étrangère, pour ne pas dire de diplomatie. C'est un instrument de pression économique au regard de ce que nous voyons aujourd'hui avec les déclarations de Trump, mais également les différents sujets qui sont développés ici et là au niveau de l'OMC. Et je pense que pour nous, en tant qu'organisation de la société civile, le commerce devrait être perçu comme étant un instrument de justice sociale, comme étant un instrument de justice économique. Et par rapport à ça, je pense également que cette réunion que nous organisons pendant les 2 jours devrait être une occasion pour nous de pouvoir discuter de l'institution OMC, mais également de pouvoir jeter déjà les bases des discussions qui seront à l'ordre du jour lors de la ministérielle de l'OMC. Donc, je pense que sans pour autant tarder, je remercie également cette initiative qui a été prise par les 3 institutions, par les 3 organisations, de pouvoir échanger avec les ambassadeurs ici présents, mais également avec les différents pays, mais également les organisations qui s'intéressent au commerce, pour que nous puissions évaluer tout le travail qui a été fait jusque-là, pour que les ambassadeurs également qui sont présents au niveau de l'OMC puissent nous partager les différents dossiers chauds au niveau de l'OMC, pour que nous puissions nous organiser davantage et pour que nous puissions également prendre part à la ministérielle du Cameroun. Merci et bonne réunion à tous.
Thank you, Endakassid. Thank you, Siatini. Thank you, TWN, for the opening remarks. Let me just take this opportunity to tell you about the logic of this program, how the program is set up before we have the first panel. Mainly, the program is divided into 3 main parts. And so the first part that we'll be moving into after I finish talking is a session on what is happening within the multilateral trading landscape. And in this session, we are looking at it will set the tone for the meeting. That is the demands of the US and Trump international trade agenda, how Trump is extracting bilateral agreements from countries around the globe, and then also the other powers, big powers like the Australia, like Japan and others, what their interests are. And then after that, what will be the implication for other countries that are blocks that are small, they don't have the powers, but they are also being affected by what is happening. And so this section, if you like, is a foundational context, and so that's what we'll do for today. And so we're going to spend a lot of time, ask all the questions that we can ask, get some of the answers we can get. I don't think we can get all the answers today, but we'll get as much as we can get. When we are through with this one, then the next section will be the specific things on the agenda towards the ministerial. If you ask me, there are three main items on the agenda. We are talking about the reform of the WTO. We are talking about the plurilaterals, what we call the Investment Facilitation Agreement for Development, and the one on e-commerce. These are the main issues on the agenda. And so we'll try to digest them, look at all the questions, all the dimensions, the challenges, the issues as they appear. And then the last part of the program is that, what do we do? What should what should be the positioning of Africa going to MC14? And so we will generate a number of questions. What should civil society as ATN, what can we do? And what should the officials be doing in Cameroon? So this is how the program is set up. And so we'll take our time and go through the first part, which I think is very, very foundational. And so let us be open, frank. We are not going to transmit, live stream the next session. We are not going to live stream it, and so you can say all the things you want to say. Apart from those who are online that can listen, but they cannot. We are not going to live stream to the world. So that is how the program is set up. So now allow me to let's go to the next session, which is the context of the multilateral trading system. That is the review of the current developments in the multilateral trading system. We have three speakers for this session. The first one, we have President Donald Trump, International Trade Agenda, and America's demand of the WTO. And our colleague from South Center, Vahini Naidu, will lead us in this presentation. What we propose is that the rest of the speakers, you sit where you are. When they finish speaking, then the panel will set up for them to respond to the questions. And when Vahini finishes, we'll take Professor Jane Kelsey presentation on the strategic interest and the response of other big powers. Then after that, we have 30 as a discussant. So these are this is the first set of presentation we'll take this morning. And so without wasting much time, I want to invite Vahini to come and start her presentation. Please clap for her as she comes.
Good morning, everybody.